beating a drum, humming a melody that was strange to me. Then he called me and said, Sandra, come. He arose and he showed me a country, beautiful everywhere, a land of endless bounty, and the riches beyond compare. There was enough for everybody, for all their material needs. But alas, when the old man showed me, my people, they were all overpowered with greed. And the old man beat his drum. The old man beat his drum. He said, take this melody, girl, go to your country, warn them of the wrath to come, and if you hear him, bye-bye, for revelation time. This is revelation. This is revelation. I want them of the wrath. You're gonna get want them of the wrath to come. Leaders were fighting each other. They were tearing the people apart. Friends who used to live happy together, now hatred filling their hearts. Neighbors were cursing neighbors, whole villages in mayhem. I heard they were listening deceitful leaders who were preaching for doctrine to them. Look, compassion went out of the window. Deviousness reigned instead. Morality was low, 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 but the people were spiritually dead. But the old man beat his drum. The old man beat his drum. He said, take this melody, girl, go to your country, warn them of the wrath. And if you hear, warn them of the wrath. You're gonna get revelation. Revelation. You know what he told me? He said, go tell it on the mountain, over the hills, and everywhere. Oh, tell it on the mountain. The old man beat his drum. The youths were all in a quandary, no sense of direction. They lost all hope cause they just can't cope. They're already yet, but they're gone. They have no respect for their elders, no respect for themselves also. Their spirits were all in tatters and reading an all-time low. Then I hear them cussing the system, they're cussing the leaders too. But they were raping, stealing, shooting and looting, but they all had nothing else to do. The old man beat his drum. The old man beat his drum. He said, take this melody, girl, go to your country, warn them of the road to come on and warn them of the road to come. You're gonna get revelation time. This is revelation. This is revelation. Warn them of the road to come. He said, talk to your spiritual leaders. Tell them get on their knees and pray to get rid of all these karmas that driving good spirits away. Then he tell me, talk to your fellow Calypsonians. Tell them stop the shame and disgrace. encouraging people to get on bad, jump up and mash up the place. But behold, I saw the sunrise coming over the mountain range. The old man said, that is a symbol of hope if your people get serious and change. But the old man beat it wrong. The old man beat it wrong. He said, take this melody, girl, go to your country, warn them on the road.
I know you guys feel that. I hope your paws raised. Some of you who can't handle it, drink some water. Here's Singing Sandra.
I took a journey spiritually. My eyes beheld a vision shone clearly in front of me. Now in the vision I saw an old man slowly playing a drum, humming a melody that was strange to me. And then he called me, he said, Dana, come. He arose and he showed me a country, beautiful everywhere, a land with endless bounty and riches beyond compare. Now there was enough for everybody to meet the material needs. But alas, when the old man showed me the people, they was all overpowered with greed. Oh, and the old man played the drum. The old man played the drum. He said, take this melody, girl, go to your country and warn them on the road to come. And if you hear it, boom, bam, bam. Revelation time. This is revelation. My revelation. Warn them on the word. He start to walk. Walk. Warn them on the road to come. Leaders was fighting leaders. There was tearing the people apart. Friends who used to live loving together, now hatred filling their heart. Neighbor was cussing neighbor, whole villages in mayhem. I hear they wasn't listening to deceitful leaders who preaching false doctrine to them. Compassion gone out the window, deviousness reigned instead. Morality was reading low, cause my people, they were spiritually dead. Oh, and the old man, he played drum. I said, the old man, he played the drum. He said, take this melody, girl, go to your country and warn them on the road. Come on, if you hear it. Man, revelation. Oh, this is revelation. Mama, revelation, warn them on the road. And then we take a little walk now. Warn them on the road to come. And then he said, go tell it on the mountain, over the hills, and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that the old man played the drum. And if you hear it, revelation, oh, this is revelation. On them on the road, I'm on. On them on the road,
Adana!
I lay down in journey spiritually. My eyes beheld a vision shone clearly in front of me. Now in the vision I saw an old man slowly playing a drum, humming a melody that was strange to me, and he called me, he said, Dana, come. He arose and he showed me a country, beautiful everywhere, a land of endless bounty and riches beyond compare. But there was enough for everybody to meet their material needs. But alas, when the old man showed me my people, they were all overpowered with greed. Oh, and the old man, oh yes, the old man, oh yes, take this melody, girl, go to your country and warn them on the road. And if you hear him, boom, bam, bam, the revelation time. This is revelation, what was good. The revelation, whatever the road, and then it's the go tell it on that mountain over there, and everywhere, oh, that the old man be from. Oh, one more walk. Oh, one more time. One time on the road to come.
What's now? Danai!
Leaders was fighting leaders. They was tearing the people apart. Friends who used to live loving together, now hatred filling their heart. Neighbor was cussing neighbor, whole villages in mayhem. I hear they was listening to deceitful leaders who preaching false doctrine to them. Compassion flew out the window, deviousness reigned instead. Morality was reading low, 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 cause my people, they were spiritually dead. And the old man played the drum. I said the old man played the drum. He said, take this melody, girl, go to your people and warn them on the road. And then he said, boom, bam, bam, revelation, boom, bam, bam. This is revelation, boom, bam, bam. Revelation, warn them on the road to come. And then he said, go, tell it on the mountain. Oh yeah, he said, go, warn them on the road to come. And then he said, go, tell it on the mountain. Over there. And everywhere, go, tell it on the mountain. What you gonna tell them? That the old man played drum.
We walking. The old man beat the drum. Lady Adana, and before that, singing Sandra, two versions of The Vision. We walking. First stop, July 6th. I'm being partisan. First stop, July 6th, Square the Revolution. The launch of the APNU campaign. And we walking still. because we walk into the next stop, September 1st. Good evening to you all and welcome to Politics 101. I know it's been a long time, but I come back. I ain't gone away. Nothing had happened to me. They ain't jail me. They ain't kill me. They ain't kidnap me. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I got home and just trying to put things in place, but we're ready to roll. We walk in. Go tell it on the mountain, over hills and valley. Revelation. You see, the Bible is a dynamic thing, just like all the holy books, the scriptures, but different people just pick and choose which one. You see, if you come out of the nigger yard and the barrack yard, you're looking for revelation because you're looking for freedom. So when we Guyanese and West Indians, we hold on to the revelation because you see the thing I revealed to you. Go tell it on the mountain. Dr. Martin Luther King, on the night before he was murdered, said, I've been to the mountaintop and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but you, the people, will get there. Go tell it on the mountains, the mountaintop. You come from Africa and you realize chains. You look up and you see the mountains and you say, a mystic in a gun. They call them runaway slaves. Maroon country, Jamaica, Guyana, Suriname. In all of them countries, you look up on the mountain and you say, I'm going up there. I'm going up there. That is why Martin Luther King said, I've been to the mountaintop because that's where the refuge was. We've got to find mountaintops. I hope you all listen to the lyrics properly. Bountiful riches, riches beyond compare. Riches for all our people. But they are deceitful leaders who are overcome with greed. Isn't it Guyana, them ladies singing about, let me walk, let me walk, let me walk. Because we move in onto Freedom Street. So many times we have to invoke that freedom, 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 freedom. Morality was reading low, low, low. Good evening to all of you. I know you all miss me and I miss you all too. But we're back tonight. We're back tonight. It's good to be back joining you on a Monday evening from the Republic of Buxton. Not on the mountain physically, but Buxton has always been liberated territory. Thou wilt not cower in the dust. Buxton, my own native land. Thy glorious name shall never rust. Buxton, my own native land. Remember Fredericks, yes, we must. His Buxton scholarship is trust. And now he slumbers in the dust. In Buxton, my own native land. To add to our illustrious line of sons and daughters who all time give of their best that we may shine for Buxton, my own native land. All right, Buxtonians, you all get 2 minutes. GHK Lall is here and ready to roll. Ready to roll. Yes, unity is strength. Unity is strength. So many people So many people. I've been to Georgetown a few times. Buxton. I was last night in Haslington and when you drive in the East Coast, you all know it's like walking the East Coast with the traffic. And revelation. So many people stopping their vehicles when they see me at the Buxton line top to come out and to pledge their votes. Some said they're voting for me. Some said they're voting for Aubrey Norton. Some said they're voting for the coalition. Some said they're voting for WPA. Some said they're voting for P. And that's the lovely thing about coalition. You can give who you want your vote. It's a cook-up, a pepper pot. Why some people don't want coalition? We don't only need coalition for the opposition. We need coalition for the entire country, because the country is a coalition. Indian, African, Portuguese, Chinese, Amerindian, European, and then when you go inside the races, it's still a coalition. Igbo and Yoruba and Congo and Koromanti, all black man, I'm not saying they're same, but they're different. And then you go up on the Indian side, you get Muslim and Hindu and Madras and Christian, all Indian, not the same diversity. And then you go to the Amerindians, then you get the Wai and the Waro and the Wapishiana and the Makushi and the Arawaks and Carib. We's a mix of people. Dr. Hines don't like Indian people. I don't like to talk about Indian history because I don't want people to say that a thing in order for my Africanness to mean something, people Indian is got to mean something and Chinese got all of it there. As so and so make all of it there. When them African lady do the all nation work, this is the African comfort religion, and them do all nation. Chinese, Portuguese, Amerindian, they not say European, they say white. And African. All nation. I'm an African, but I'm all nation. Because you're conscious of your environment, but you can't be respected by the other man or the other woman if you don't respect yourself. All I doing is saying, African, are you respect yourself? Are you racist? You're racist. You know. When we see them all East Indian lady cuss Muhammad, I want them to teach them. Me never teach I even gonna cuss nobody. And they get them old lady, they must send them go cuss Muhammad. And you hear them dirty word. You hear what the song said? Leaders were preaching false doctrine. If me use one cuss word, oh Jesus Christ, Chronicle, NCN tomorrow, I got that David Hines cuss up on the program. He said, lick bottom. I hear a cuss. I heard him a cuss, Muhammad. Muhammad not black, Muhammad not Amerindian. He's Indian like them. Be one different Indian. And then make him, Indian billionaire. My friend Ravi Dev just said, Indians and money. They make money. Well, the man making money. I will try to kill him now. Oh, anyhow, you all are gathering. And please share the link, please share the live, because we have lots to talk about. We have not been on for 2 weeks, and we're ready to walk the road. Walk, 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 walk. Kitchener said, the road make the walk on Carnival Day. Constable, I don't know, but I have to say, any steel band man venture to cross my path is a long funeral to the Royal Hospital. If Kitchener coming guy, they will lock him up and say you preach violence. Hey lad! Oh, this story is sweet. Here, let me tell you all something. We walking down the road, you know. Some of you all say, well, that time is not down the road, we're walking up the road. Up to the mountain top. We are marching as a walker. We are marching to Zion. Beautiful, beautiful Zion. We are marching upward to Zion, that beautiful city. Someone said, the man who teach people sing away Cully Brown, one of them out, he said, beautiful city of gold. And Cousin Chris Bell said, gold of God. Beautiful city of God. And Cully Brown said, no, gold. Because we come from Africa, they have enough gold there. Cousin Chris Bell said, no, that beautiful city of God. And then by a thief, she cigarette, and she done with Cully Brown. Bye, we are interfering with cigarette. Character, that's what you call that character. Good evening and welcome to Politics 101 on a Monday night. We are ready to roll. Ready to roll. Ready like Freddie, not that kind of Freddie. Ready like Freddie Bandula, King of Santa P, Freddie Bandula. Not them wrong Freddie. What type of proper Freddie? Freddie Bandula Dulam. King of Santa P. Freddie Bandula, old Bushman. He come out from Bush. King of Santa P. Yes, he has spent money. Good evening, and we are ready to roll. Audrey Brown, good evening to you and welcome to Politics 101. So many of you I've met. I mean, literally hundreds of you, and some of you met me for the first time. Some of you known me before and so on. But I have to say thanks. Whether we were in Plaisance, met me in Plaisance, or Golden Grove in the Backlist, or BV at Touchdown there a little bit, and so on. Georgetown, well, don't talk about Georgetown, oh Lord, God, and so on. And you all cussing one people, you know? You all cussing Nigel and cussing Amanza and so on. The two of them you are cussing. As I tell you all, don't cuss them. It's unfortunate that we all ain't come together yet. But I know you all feel. I have never in my long association with Guyanese politics since maybe in short pants, I've never seen a critical mass of Guyanese so want coalition and unity. Never. Revelation time. And so I understand the frustration with Nigel, I understand the frustration with Amanza, and so on and so forth. But we have to understand that these things happen in politics, and we have to throw that behind us. One thing I can tell you all, Nigel ain't giving up on the struggle. Amanza ain't giving up on the struggle. I see Amanza at Adriana thing, and she hugged me up, and she said, that times I still love you. Never mind your cuss out. And I say, Amanza didn't cuss you out, I quarrel with you. Look, all our leaders want the same objective. And that is why I got hope. All of you just make me little wrong step and so on, you know. A long time they say, oh, dance canker, we are dance out of time. Sometimes we dance out of time. Sometimes we don't dance with the rhythm. But we walking down the road. Let me bring in my guest, GHK Lall has been patiently waiting while I catch up. When I do me little catch up with you all. My brother GHK Lall, how are you?
Good evening, everyone. I'm good. Good to be here. Welcome back. Welcome home.
Thank you.
Welcome home. I heard you say that. It is good to say that. You know, you got plenty plenty hog up,
Hey,
right?
lad. Home is home, man.
Yeah.
Nobody
Oh,
can throw me
yes.
out from here.
Yes.
You
And I
know?
could hear some of that in your voice.
Yeah. So, what do you make, GHK Lal? What do you make of this almost religious holding on, certainly from opposition supporters, the major part of the opposition? This almost spiritual, religious holding on to the notion of coalition and unity. What's at work there?
People want change. Good evening, everyone. Good to be here with you. The Guyanese people are up to here with, you call it frustration. It's a combination of things. It's fear, it's hope, it's aspiration, it's oppression, the response to oppression. It is a vision that we can do better, that we have people here who can make a difference based on what we have had for the last 5 years. So when our brothers and sisters speak about coalition, they are seeing this as the way from where they are, step by step, a hard struggle to that mountaintop that beckons, that we are saying belongs to each and every one of us. And we ain't taking left back. And we don't want to fall back. And this is the time when we must rise, bind we belly, and really be serious about where we want to go and who's going to take us there. And the part that we also have to play, we as individual citizens. So it's the combination, the aggregation of the last 5 years, all the ills, all the weaknesses, all the piling up of the pushing down, from the top, the pushing down from the side at those who are don't have the power, don't have the money, don't have the access, don't have the connections and the relationships, and people are feeling it. Brother David, the Guyanese people from this cook up, this mecha, this pepper pot that you just spoke about at length, the Guyanese people are feeling it, and they are saying a coalition is our way forward, and we want it because we want our seat at the table, because we belong, because this is the time. We can't let this time pass us by. And so that's where I see, and so many other things that are not coming right now, and that you may think, and the people, our audience, our listeners, viewers, may think about out there and say, why are you talking about that? Yes, I am talking about that without saying it. That whether you're in London or New York or Brooklyn or the Bronx or Toronto or Port of Spain or Buxton or Quarantine or Linden or Ishalton, we are feeling it in a country that the world is talking about, that they're so good. That where every citizen, we have enough where every citizen should be rejoicing. We have arrived. We are treated as people and we feel like people, but we are not there. We are far from there. And when every opportunity was there in the last 5 years for this to, and before, for this to happen, it has not happened. The wealth has been revealed. And what has also been revealed is how they broke we up and set we apart and push we down and set us against one another so that they can prosper. We know who they are. We know who they are. And that is why they are desperate. And that's why they want to resist that change. Yes, I hear about Sister Amanza, Brother Nigel, and Brother Aubrey, and the others, and I say, let us not give up hope. Let us be stronger in hope. That where's the will of God? Where's the will of God? Where the power of the people is expressed in their energies, in their determination, and where it matters, coming together for this one push, for this objective that the incumbent government and this unclean leadership must go, then it can happen. And I
Yeah.
think that is why we see so much focus on a coalition. That's why we hear, what y'all doing? Why y'all ain't get anything right? What taking y'all so long?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll confess that very, very unashamedly, that I too am at that point sometimes. And I
Mm-hmm.
say, why not? I'd be less than human, I'd be less than sincere if I were to say otherwise here. It's the beginning of July almost. And we're down to what, 60 days?
Mm-hmm.
So but 60 days can be 60 years if they are used wisely. If every minute of every day is made to count. Because there is a lot of collective wisdom from the last, you name it, you yourself are about 50 years, 55 years, and you multiply that by 100, and you've got 5,000 years of this, of knowledge about what's going on here. We've got that here. So I think the time is ripe now for the coalition to put aside its differences and overcome the difficulties and say, we've got to respond to those people out there who want us to make this work. And we have got to get our senses together and make it work. Because the thing is bigger than each one of us. We've got to answer that call because the people are calling on us. And I yield to you now to take it from there. The people are looking to the coalition as the way forward, as the answer to all that has bogged them down and bothered them. And they don't want 5 more years of this. I don't. I want to make that clear. I've made it clear before. I'm going to make it clear. I do not want to think 5 more years. That's why a coalition is so vital. It's so obligatory.
GHK, you are perhaps the most prolific writer, and quite apart from writing the public media, you the newspapers and so forth. You appear on a number of television programs, and every time I read you, I look at you. You're constantly grappling with what is before us. In the absence of credible polls, I hear the political parties are doing polls. I hear all kinds of things. But I had to remark to some comrades of mine. I went to Adriana's funeral and I tried to talk to as many people as I could talk to, who could talk. And when I listened to them, so a lot of them are young people. And I am wondering, I turned to my comrades and I said, do the pollsters poll these people? I am telling you, I mean, the energy, and I pay attention to the young people. Not that the older people aren't important. I think the older people are much more settled in the thing. But we hear that the young people are not tuned in, the young. And I walked in, the first person is a lady that called me over to go take a picture with her 6 or 7 year old daughter. And she said to me, this girl look at your program every night. 6, 7 year old kid.
Mhm.
And I'm saying, what are pollsters saying to me about undecided? GHK, I have not met an undecided voter since I've been in Ghana for 2 weeks. And I must have pressed the fresh with hundreds and hundreds. I have not met an undecided voter. Talk to me. What is it? Why is it? Why is it it's so difficult to get a near to accurate reading of the pulse of Guyanese? What do you think is the reason for that?
Well, there are a couple of things here. One, there is this dearth, this lack of information.
Mhm.
There's this, and I think that's deliberate. So, as a commentator, as a contributor, and others like me have lamented this, you have got very little to go on, and so the population is kept in ignorance in that darkened state, and then you get the other side of that. You get inundated, you get swamped with a whole set of misinformation and disinformation. You get swamped with that, and that there's a cascade of that, and that takes hold, and after a while they repeat and repeat, and you hear it left, right, and center. And if you're not as strong as I am, it's like I block them out. I'm like, listen, I know what the ground is saying. Like you go to a funeral and you're like, wait a minute, is where all these people been? Or why is everybody else missing them? And so that we have everyone that I have spoken to, ladies and gentlemen out there, everyone that I have spoken to, the marketplace, in the taxi, at the barber shop.
Yeah.
Yes, I have hair on my head and I shave, right? So the barber's shop, the butcher shop,
Yes.
they tell me is what going on here and what do being done about it, because they feel that something should be done, which is a good beginning, and that they don't like where they are in this biggest, brightest, supposedly richest metropolis in the world, polity in the world, or one of them, close to the top. And people, and the young people, look, we are both still young mentally, and in our physically youthful days, we were impatient. And that impatience is what you are seeing again. You are seeing yourself in those people, young and old, black and brown and white and bronze and whatever, male and female, and, and, and it just bubbles over. My condition is not where I should be. I am better than this. This country has more to offer me than this, and I want it, and I have to grab it, and I must get it. And so, what I think you're hearing, or what I'd like to put out, and look, we have people in the diaspora also, think, and they want their share. We've got to think of the people who are living here and are looking uphill at this monstrosity called cost of living. Cost of living. And yes, we hear about bombs dropped on Tehran and so on and so forth. Have we thought about if the Strait of Hormuz is closed, and what will that mean for cost of living here in terms of oil prices, in terms of how that impacts just about everything from a pill to a piece of meat or fruit. So the younger folks in this country are want to work hard, and sometimes the opportunities are not there, And when the opportunities are there, it does not translate to much that makes them feel like a viable citizen. And I think that is what is coming out. Yes, we the poor one time statistically. Now we are rich statistically. Therefore, how does that not translate to me, my circumstances? How does that not touch me? And that is what you are hearing there. And now let's go, move from them and go to the older folks, those who are on fixed incomes. If the young are impatient, what does that say about where the old is when they are more or less stuck where they are? The older folks want change because they're saying, no man, no, 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 no. Even when Guyana been bad, we'd have been so bad. We'd have been there so bad. So why is this now? Yeah, you're talking about road, or you're talking about towers, and you're talking about infrastructure for the next century. Yeah, but what about me today? What about my lot today and my plight? Why I always have to look at a mountain and say, is when I'm going to scale down. Now is the time for us to reach the first summit and then the other and then the other. And soon that mountain top, when you give people that momentum, that push start, they feel now that look, the economics are in my grasp. Therefore, excuse me, therefore that is reachable. I am on a roll here, therefore that is reachable. And don't give me no blasted catch grant for $100,000 and tell me, well, look at what we have done for you. And you should be happy about that. And you should be thankful to us for that. Hell no, you didn't do nothing for me. You didn't do squat for me. I don't know if that word is permitted, but it's already out there. You have not done not anything for me. You haven't done much for me. So stop gloating over there and expect me to be rejoicing about that. And that is where the young folks in Guyana are are this is what they are impassioned about. My concern is that they do not become embittered about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Impassion is good.
Yeah.
Embittered is not so good. And so I think we feel this bubbling over more and more. We were seeing it, we were hearing it, we were sensing it in the last 5 years. And why the last 5 years? Because we got oil now. Oil is the game changer, oil is the catalyst. Oil's supposed to be cathartic, and I'm sorry to use these words here. It is supposed to be an answer for some of our troubles, some of our weakness, some of our deficits. But instead of that, it's become this albatross around our necks where we're saying, well, yes, some people get in. We go back to the haves and the have-nots, and we ain't get in. You put up a proposal about X dollars under such conditions, or this should happen as part of the social compact, and it gets struck down. But then a part of it, a fraction of it, is resurrected and put out there and cheered. You come back with bits and pieces of what was originally proposed, and you know where I'm going with this, and the audience
Yes.
should know too.
Yes. Yes.
And you say, well, look at this, look how grand we are, right? When it said that you're making the people in the fools, and I'll tell you, the worst thing you can do to people is to take them for granted, and then and think that they are fools because you pull a fast one for them, and that is where people in this country, young and old, are really furious about, because and you are feeling that energy coming out regarding whether the pollsters go. I think they are looking at educated demographics. So you're better than I am by far at these kinds of things, and they're like, look, this pocket here in Bel Air or this one here, and what about Tiger Bay?
Yeah.
what about,
Yeah.
what about the hood? What
Yeah.
about where the real Guyana lives?
That's right.
The squatting areas. Let's get a picture of what those people think and what they want in answer to this question. You can buy a bangamiri. You can, how much time you can buy a bacon saltfish or get a bake in your pot, right? For torn for your family. And these are the basic things that should that generate resentment. And I tell you what, we talk about frustration. The citizens of this country have built up, and built up a reservoir of resentment, and that ain't a good thing. That ain't a good thing, and the government is taking that, and leaders are taking that for granted. And I think that that is a dangerous thing. And so we go to September 1st, and I hear you say of some plans unfolding, and I think that should be an indicator of how much people want, how much people want to put in their little 2 cents. And I just don't mean monetarily, to put in their 2 cents into what is a struggle. Change don't come without struggle. Change don't come with people sitting down and writing. Change don't, it's a good thing. The poetry helps and the writing helps and all of that. But change comes with bodies in motion. It comes with boots on the ground. It comes with people translating or expressing their frustrations, their anger, their resentment, their expectations, their hope, their aspirations, and saying, damn it, this thing has got to come to an end. And I think that's where the people of Guyana, young and old, and by the way, even into the present ruling party's demographic, into
Yes.
its base, that is very palpable. And that is why they're lashing out at Tom, Dick, and Harry. That is why they're doing it. And so it shows. And what does that tell you? If you do so much for people, if you've been so good to the people of Guyana, then why? Why you so desperate? Why you got you looking like you're back to the wall and you're ready for choke out people like and things like that? Why not say, look, we are super confident of where we are because of what we've done. But no, they ain't doing nothing for the people. And now they're running around sharing out a bridge and up the tank or whatever, and expect that people say, "Oh yeah, them man, they're good." So here's this: things have come to a climax. The pent up anger and resentments and energies of this country, we are seeing that reaching right to the surface point. And this is July almost, as I said. Let's get past June. And I think the stage is set now for the coalition to get its act together, whatever form that is going to take, and for the Guyanese people, voter, citizen, contributor, to line themselves up for that march, that revolution that is waiting to happen in whatever form it takes.
GHK Lall here tonight. Line yourself up for the revolution that's about to happen. And indeed, it is a revolution. On July 6th, that Sunday coming, the APNU coalition will be launching its campaign. We want to fill the square of the revolution. Those of you who are in the villages and far from communities, transportation would be available. Just get in touch with your APNU people in the community and let us come out to the square of the revolution and make a statement. After all the shadowboxing and criticisms, and I heard all of them, from Norton not being electable to Nigel trying to use the class thing to bully, to Amanza being over ambitious, to Aubrey Norton blocking up the PNC. I hear all the criticism. Now it's time, having flexed, having done all the shadow boxing, now it's time for us to get serious. Now it's time for us to get serious. I ran into a young man today and he was telling me, I into thing but the coalition, the only body in the coalition who the start off is a man named David Hines, but David Hines overseas and and like young come in and he talking to me, he talking to me and he recognize me and so on. So I said, well, all right, I'm not sure we got you vote. And he said, wait a minute, I know this voice. He said that time you look so different. Man, oh Jesus. I said, well, the vote, you saw it, but he said, yeah, man. I thought you didn't come in. I said, we get the vote. Now is the time after all of that thing. Let us now put our eyes on the prize. Our eyes on the prize. GHK, corruption has been here for the last 3 decades. It has been here longer than that. But I think it has become an institution in the last couple of decades. Do you think that corruption is going to make a difference as an issue swaying people's votes in the coming election?
I think it's relevant. Before I go there, I just want to say something, add a little something to the young man that you had that encounter with. I can tell our audience, wherever you are, and I'll tell you, there are people from the ruling party, supporters, who have said to me, Bano, the corruption bad. I say, yeah, I know that. But tell me something else. Were you there? If, and this is for you, Dr. Hines, and your comrades, they say if we get a viable, the viable is my word, if we get an alternative, we gone. We there.
Mhm.
There's the incentive. How many of those we have? How many of those are willing to say, I had enough of this fraud? So now I'll segue. Oh, before I segue, I think you got to come clean with the people. You got to tell the people, let you come back and you're there back. Right? So I'll call you out there. You got to tell them not only you come back, but you're there back. Right where I'm going to mean. You, I leave that to you. I plant the seed. You take it from there.
I come home. I come home.
All right. And you come with a one way ticket.
And I come in a one way ticket.
All right, then. I ain't going further than that. And now, corruption. You know, I wrote, I think it was last week or the other week, but frankly, I've lost track of what I've written. So much, so many of these things. Corruption is now a personal issue.
Mhm.
What do I mean by that? I hear about money. I seen money flying about. I seen the impact that money has, our money has on a few, the connected few. What is called the 4F, like the US Army.
Mhm.
Friends, family, favorites, and something else. Felons or fools or whatever. No, it's only fools. Felons, you can say them, right? Failures. Good. All them people who can know nothing but road and this. Listen, Guyana is a small society. Now, the corruption, people, it may not, some people are the view that, look, corruption ain't going to be a contributor. It's not a game changer. But I do not think so, and here's why. When the corruption has a direct correlation to my condition, it got some contribution to the election. This is not an abstraction no more, my brother. That, oh, corruption there. Well, it's other people thieving. Yes, it's other people thieving. But now I feeling it and I seeing what the corruption doing for them. How high it got them. And what is a process is a as they go higher, I going lower.
Mm.
I going low because as they get more, I get less. And I get
Mhm.
nothing at all. So you've had budgets, record budgets year after year. Let me take the tangible. record budgets year after year. This year we got a 1.382 trillion, whatever a trillion is. Even me, who got to so much school, I got a little struggle with a trillion, right? So you can understand the ordinary man. So here it is. And half of the thing gone for infrastructure, and I know if you talk about services in there. And as soon as they build a road and broke up, all right, they're going to say you're clutching at straws. So you're building road, you're investing on road. What happened to me? What happened to the human infrastructure? The human infrastructure comes down from the books and the conversations and the concepts into my house, into my hood, into my community. And that is where this corruption thing features, I think, prominently and majestically, meaning that this time I should be getting me share. And because you thieving so much, my share is subtracted from. And when you multiply the stealing, the corruption, whatever form it takes, it has an impact on me. I can't go to the market and buy. I cannot live at the standard that people who the World Bank describe as high income, and me, you know what I mean. You could take the US dollar, how much thousands of US dollar, and multiply it by 200, and I am not a quarter of that. So don't tell me about high income one. Don't tell me about GDP and per capita. All I know is I can't feed my children. All I know is that I cannot manage a quality of life, and this is not the economics definition, and a standard of living that speaks to somebody who's a proud citizen of Guyana. A proud citizen, yes, in terms of my presence, but a proud economic participant in the patrimony of this land. This patrimony come from government or opposition. It come for all Guyanese. It didn't come for one segment. But why primarily one set of people, including you go and call him crossover or turnover or whatever, are the winners in that set of this environment, that set of circumstances. So I think that the corruption beast finally come to the end of the road in that some people are going to say, look, man, I come out for vote against corruption.
Mhm.
I ain't coming out on vote race. Yeah, that still got its pull. Let's make no mistake about that. That tribal aspect still has its pull. But I am coming out here to represent my children. I'm coming out here to represent my pride that as a Guyanese, as a band Guyanese, as we just said, as a proud Guyanese, I should be an authentic participant in the patrimony that has been gifted to all of us. That's part of my inheritance, my family's inheritance, my neighbor's inheritance, my the people who look like me inheritance. So why is that not happening to me? And part of it is not just how the things share, how the pie slice and share. Because it's slicing, but it ain't sharing. It's what is the impact of the corruption. Because when you're talking about a $500 billion guide to infrastructure, at least this year, and close to that last year, and there are all these disputes about how the money spent and who get the money and who qualify for who is who can do the work, who can deliver we value for money, and we are not getting that. And when we hear from top to bottom, and you know what I mean by this, and some of the people in here, in listening here today, know by this, who collected money for who, right, in laws and family, and who have been recruited to be part of this cabal, this den of thieves. And people know them, and there is flaunt the wealth, and the wealth unexplained, and their lifestyle conspicuous. In the meantime, either in the gutter or close to it. If I don't go there and hustle, if I don't go there and tie and adjust myself, I can't make it. And when I do make it, I got to say, surely I can do better than this in this country at this time for my family. That I never drink Johnny Walker Blue, right? But at least I could say, man, come take a Banks beer. But if I got to study about the light bill and the water bill and this and the taxi and the minibus bill, forget about taxi, then I'm really in there. I haven't arrived. I might as well have got to New York like me and you, and you went to Arizona, right? And and start over. Why are people running from this country? They don't want to run no more. Guyanese tired of running. They want to have a part of ownership of this land, of being a presence in the room and not against the wall. Or at least the people must be at the table so that we can feel that all of we sharing, all of we got a dabu, a spoon in this soup, right? And the soup rich, and I get in my little gravy, my little sorwa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
my little juice, and
Mm-hmm.
I so the corrupt when the corruption eats away at that. I'm talking in basic terms here, David. A grassroots term. When the corruption eats away at what should be coming to me and my family and my friends and my neighbors, then and they got plenty like me across the territory, across the country, in equivalent positions, then corruption has to feature significantly. If they feature now, it ain't gonna feature ever at all. Then we can then you don't got to give people nothing. You don't got to give them a pension increase. You don't got to give them castle. You don't got to give them cash grant. You just take the money and they say, okay, well, we've called that upon ourselves, so therefore we deserve what we get, and and you right for doing what you do to me. But that stage has passed because people are looking now. Well, this is a PNC thing and a PPP thing. This is a Guyanese thing where the Guyanese prize, the Guyanese patrimony, is like we own it.
Mm-hmm.
Yet we see some people are participating in it. The few, right? Who are rolling in riches. As I said before, unexplained riches. And when they can't explain it, they got to hide it. And when they got to hide it, they got to cost you for asking about it. And that only makes matters worse. It arouses the antenna, the sensitivity of the citizen. Say, when the man go after certain people, is what really they're doing. They're trying to shut you down. Why? Because he's talking something that right. And I've said that to the vice president. The more y'all pay attention to people like me, is the more is the more people gonna read or watch at me. They can't say, is what am I saying there?
That's right.
And so and yes, the corruption is so bad, it's choking Guyanese like zombie in the night. And people ain't want but deal with it no more. They want a new day. They want a new day, and I think the time is right for that iron to be struck.
Not that. GHK, this that is the season, and about we are hearing about foreign observers coming for the election, and people have been asking me, Dr. Hines, are the foreign observers' presence here? Is it going to make a difference? And I'm asking you that question. Will the presence of foreign observers make a difference? Given the deficit that we have going in the elections, no clean voters list, no biometrics, um, uh, all kinds of machinations to ensure that the elections are not credible. Will the presence of observers help to lessen that deficit?
Well, the first thing when you're there in a hole, you try to get out of the hole
Right.
and get to level ground, and then take the steps from there, the baby steps from there. But we are insisting on staying in the hole. GCOM is, and so when you call them deficits, when we insist on staying in that condition, then I think that the presence of foreign observers foreign election observers only perpetuate, they only perpetuate this masquerade that we're going now with. And you got to begin with a level playing field. You've got to start with the participants, the senators in this most crucial of elections being satisfied. You can't satisfy everybody all the time. At least you could have gone a longer path. You could have gone closer to where to addressing where the deficits are. I think that biometrics was one thing that had possibilities. It is major. It is not a small thing. It's major, and it should have been addressed. There was time, and even if there weren't enough time. We had to make the time, and clearly the GCOM was dead set. This is what's going to be. We ain't moving from there, and this is what we're going into the thing with September 1st. With. The foreign observers are coming here. I want to put this on the table. What is their first priority, sir? Their first priority is to look out for their interests. And what is their interest? We got all these businesses here. You want to call them? Exxon Mobil, Schlumberger, uh, Linzakaya, who got some problem, right? And you go down American Airlines, bringing and carrying people, and you go up and down, and all these subcontractors, not local ones, vendors, making things where we can make, and up and down the line. You got jobs here for the expatriates. They are coming here and talk about democracy and free and fair because they want a stable business climate. They want a stable investment climate. And so they're going to come here, take what we got, and say, okay, this is our starting point. They ain't going backwards. They are not refining anything. Go back to the 2020 election, the EU recommendations, where are those? I think it was 28 or 32 recommendations they had made. How many have been implemented thoroughly and qualitatively? All the good things that came out post-mortem, good things supposedly, what efforts have been made to address them? So we gone back to a 2020 status quo, and we were saying, okay, we'll pick up the pieces from there and we'll go along. Well, hell no. My position is that they are there and they come with a set mentality. We can count polling day. We can see that people behave themselves, or we are here to watch who behave themselves and who behave. We are going, and who controls the information machinery? And who got the bulk of who got the money? Who got who got the money? Money is is the game changer here. Let us face that. And the foreign observers, in my mind, are here to maintain the status quo. That may be a controversial statement. I would hope that the thing come down to a really, really genuine counting of the votes. But before that, what went into the voting process on polling day, not just in Georgetown, visible, right, and in proximity, but in those all them other, what I can call mecha areas, with due respect. And everybody should know what I mean. Those outlying areas that may not be visited, where you could have hanky-panky and skullduggery as, look. At one time, the overwhelming narrative was that the PNCs did it. What happened now? We rigging the finances, we rigging the information flow, we rigging the what going on at GCOM. Why are we talking about that? We rigging our minds in terms of talking about the verbal violence directed at Mr. Mohammed. So it don't matter no more, right? So why is it that we still talking about the conditions that we have that we are going into elections? So I say the not investors, the foreign observers really ought to have been, they're coming here and they come in for a free and fair election for a, in adherence with democratic standards, norms, constitutional setups in this country. I mean, we can't start from where we are. We cannot start from it. So, what are they here for then? I think is to maintain the status quo, and that there is a problem in and of itself. Let me put it raw, man. Let me put it raw. The white man coming here to look after white man interests, right? And who is for the white man's side of the equation and coin more than the incumbents, right? So we need really to get that in our heads and understand and see these people for who they are. They are not peacemakers, right? They are not peacemakers. They are perpetuators, all right? Now, that may not sit well, but I've said it and I believe it. I only say what I believe.
As raw as they come. GHK, I can't let you go without talking a little bit about all these defections crossing over from one party to the other. I've never seen anything like this at an election time. What's going on? Is it
People,
going to have any bearing on the outcome of the election?
well, hold on. People follow the money. They could talk chalk and they could talk cheese. They could talk chalk and they could talk cheese about patriotism and leadership. You did rowing about leadership just a week ago or a month ago or a year ago about the cleanliness or uncleanliness of leadership, about all the wrongs that the folks were doing. And now suddenly you get amnesia. Suddenly well, yes, you lose your memory. Suddenly people who had no character, no integrity, no principle, suddenly they change overnight. When you can't use a word like corruption in the House of the People, the National Assembly, and you were railing against that, and you stand up in front of the head of the public, what is it again, Public Accounts Committee, and you saw all the shenanigans there in terms of delays and quorums and who was available and who did this when in daytime, and now suddenly you decide that, yeah, I detect some bullets, but that doesn't matter anymore. So there's a sea change there. And what has brought about that? Spirituality? Come on, man. What has brought about that? It's not spirituality. I would like to think, and I have to think this and say it. You got the incentive. Is who got the thing. Like we talk about corruption just now. All politics is local, and that's where it comes down. Local is in me house. It bothering me, right? The pork in reaching me. The pork barrel in rolling in front of me house. So now some people go with the pork barrel there, right? And that is, I think, look, some people may mean well. They may have had ambitions and they have not gotten them fulfilled. And they're impatient. And I've had some conversations, a while back with some people long before these things have percolated to the top, to the surface. And I said, what about this one and that one? There's some things brewing, right? And this is way, way back. And now you got to remember, this is not a one hand clapping business because the Honorable Vice President, he's sitting down there waiting. He's looking for who is available to do business. This is a business. These are business transactions, Brother David. This is not anything to do, I would venture to say, very, very unambiguously, this is not altruism and patriotism at work. Let's not insult our audience. This is about people looking out for themselves. And look. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just, look, I think Sister Mansa means well, and I. She says she makes the story clear. She said, "Me going outside of the tent. I'm still there, right? But I'm engaging in some self-expression. My words. So I could deal with her, like mentally. Some other movements I saying is for really you telling people. How stupid you think I am, right? I mean, it's okay for the think that you're smart, but don't think that ISIS should be one time or the Guyanese people. So, they're so green that they never had exposure. They can't pick out sense from nonsense. And so that is where this business about crossing and moving and climbing and stretching is all about. Now, you ask a pertinent question there. How much of a difference does this make? And I think the opposition leader would answer that better than me. And you say, how much votes they're carrying, how much votes they got, right? And at the end of the day, this is a numbers thing. It's like, hey, what they carrying? They carrying a seat? I don't think so. They're carrying, but what they're gonna look for do now is use them and say, here, you go over there,
Yeah.
right? Because what really you have here. Let me answer that very, very straight. Well, together, together, call them what you want, defectors, brothers, wayward brothers, sisters, they then carry a seat in my estimation,
Mm.
right? There have been some people who came in, and so I don't know, maybe it's a wash, but but don't forget the value of those who have made their moves and have identified clearly with a guide is how they will be used. How they will be used to go to the simple supporter in the village and say, you see, I look after myself. You could look after yourself too. That is how insidious this could be. And I think that should not be dismissed because they got little teeth. They got teeth, right? And plus, it makes other people at where they were, peers, and say, "Well, up to you, man. Goat bite you, you stupidity. What you doing there? Right? Come along with me. The door open, and the people make it clear. They ain't call your name, but I think you named up on the head, right? So that's where the value is, or the treachery is, or whatever you want to call it, and but in terms of carrying votes with them, I mean seen none of that. I think you would agree with that. And most this is not a man walking with a block of votes or a full church of votes or something like that. Look,
Right.
when he fly we name again Reverend flied. He been in Jamaica, Queens, man. Ebenezer something church. He,
Yes. I know you're talking about.
yeah.
Uh,
And he was like, I endorse.
that's right.
Right?
That's right.
How much people come follow that? I mean, if MLK was alive and he said, well, look, I think there's something. Now you're talking music, right? So
Yeah,
that's where that's how I see all of this.
that's it. GHK Lall here tonight, giving us his thoughts on a number of issues. GHK, as we come down to the end of the program, any thoughts as we go out? Closing thoughts?
I think what my call to the opposition, get the coalition together. That's There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Get it together. Get the energy going. Let the Guyanese people see that you got one head, you got a program, you've got a plan, you've got a team, and there's this commitment, there's this determination to get better, to extract it, to fight for it, to put out for it, so that all of us can know what a better Guyana is. We're not going to get it with those that we have in place right now. And so, however this coalition combination work out, whoever are the main movers are in it, and I think you're a driver in it, and you've got to continue. I think you've got to raise the bar on yourself also. Yeah, and I know you got the bar high already, but I tell you, you got to raise the bar on yourself. You got to get this thing going. You got to get this thing started and let it roll. And the time is tight. The time can be used wisely, can really be magnified, but you got to show the people. The people need some inspiration now. The waiting voter needs some inspiration now. They need to feel that energy. And I'll leave with this. There are those voters who are so disgusted, so discontented and disgruntled. Those are waiting to be had. And I think that's where some work has to be done. It's been my
And
pleasure sharing with you and the audience. Thank you for having me.
quite an ending to the program. GHK Lall here tonight. GHK, thank you very much. And I'm sure I'll be seeing you a couple of times before September 1st as things continue to
All
heat
the,
up.
all the best to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And please remember, this Sunday at the Square of the Revolution, the APNU coalition will be launching its campaign. Come out to the Square of the Revolution on Sunday at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. The APNU coalition will be launching its campaign. Of course, at the top of the ticket are Aubrey Norton and Joretta Finance, and then, of course, the rest of us bringing up the rear or the phalanx, however you put it. But we are going to be filling the Square of the Revolution. And in true revolutionary style, coffee, the 1763 revolution, will be launching the campaign. The next week, it's going to be nomination day, and from there we walk in straight to September 1st. Remember, as I said, we are doing two things. We are fighting to the very end for credible election. We're going to do everything in our power to make it difficult for them to rig. Rig, we know that they will do. GCOM is helping them to rig, and we have to make it difficult for them to rig. And then we voting for an alternative to this government. As I said, we have flexed our muscles, we've given our views, we have coerced our leaders, some justifiably so, and now it's time for us to settle down. Now it's time for us to close ranks. And as I have said weeks ago, the WPS said weeks ago, we can't split the vote. We cannot split the vote. The votes are not many, and we cannot split the vote. The first objective is to get the PPP out of office. And then the second objective is for us to clean up the mess that they are leaving. And the third objective is to bring our country together. So this vote matters. This year, the vote matters at every election. But at this election, it matters more. And as I have said earlier, coalition is the way to go. You get to vote for anybody in the coalition. It's all going the same place. It's all going the same place. Tomorrow night, I'll be back. Dr. Henry Jeffrey is going to be here. And this week, we continue. Walk the road. We walk the road straight on to September 1st. Straight on to September 1st. Hold the fort, keep your head high, because we shall overcome.